Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow host,
Jack.
and Joker will not be joining us today. I think he has something to do that he's doing right now. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about basically that games need to be available. Um, so we were just talking earlier about you said that all of the Pokemon games need to be on the Switch. Um, that is that's fine. That's they at least seem to be trying to do that. But what I was specifically talking about when I was telling you guys that I wanted to do this is basically like games say like Lunar, which is why I made the thumbnail today. Um, Basically, Lunar is pretty much inaccessible at this point in time. The only people who can actually do anything is so basically the only people who can do anything with Lunar is those who got it on the PS1 or the Sega CD when it came out or the PSP when it came out. Or basically, as long as you got it before they shut down the online stuff, uh, you could play the game. But after that, it was pretty much impossible to do anything with it. It was just weird and annoying and kind of a pain in the backside. Um,
Yeah.
and nowadays,
Hey, join the group.
yeah, exactly. Um, like I tried to get it. Um, the only time that the only way that I've been able to get it is one I bought the Japanese version from my local game store. Then I attempted to get it onto the PSP through the PS3 and all that stuff because there is a way to do it, but they've basically made it impossible to do anything on the PS3 or the PSP for a while now, and it's just like, what the frell?
Yeah, because PSP isn't supported. That's why I bought one.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just kind of insane because like that legitimately the only way that you could play the game for a relatively good reasonable price was to get that version on the on your on your PSP you could purchase the game for $15 as a digital version. The physical version costs like $100 nowadays, which is insane. At least that's what I saw on Amazon. It might be cheaper in other places. And my Japanese version was like $50, I think. But the point still remains that it's pretty much impossible to play the game. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's annoying. I don't understand what the heck they were thinking. Um, but yeah. Sorry, a little bit of a rant there. But I did finally get the game through an emulator for for the PC, so I can basically play the game um, kind of illegally, but I own the game. I have bought the game officially in two different ways, so I reserve the right to pirate the game if it means that I can play it.
Fair enough.
um, so yeah. But what are
You're talking to someone who there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, so hey, I'd pirate away, my guy.
oh my gosh. But yeah. There's just a lot of things with that, and it's annoying. It's whatever. We figure it out as time comes. But
I'm mad that I don't have the clothes.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, Pokemon. Yeah. Well, while recording this nerd chat, we're also like playing some Pokemon on the side. All right, and we'll go ahead and do this other thing as well. Um, but yeah, so obviously, yeah, the so what was I saying?
I forgot.
Oh, yeah, games. But there are other games like that that they just make them inaccessible. After a while, they just disappear from existence. You can go ahead and start the trade. I just usual code.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, like just thinking about it. Uh, Dark Cloud. I've mentioned how much I love the game. Pretty much the only way to play the game is the PS2 version. Um, Whether you want to play Dark Cloud 1 or Dark Cloud 2, you're basically waiting on the game to make its way to you. But you have to play it on the PS2. You can't play it on the you can't play it on the PS3, the PS4, the PS5. None of those. And I don't understand why they did it, but they did. They have never ported it to another system or anything. Granted, the PS2 is still pretty easily accessible, and Dark Cloud is still a pretty easy game to buy. But but if they don't port that game, if they don't, then eventually it is gonna disappear. And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to get across, is that all of these games, if they do not become available, then they're going to disappear. And it's usually going to be like the smaller companies that are going to be the ones who are doing this. Pokemon has a good reason to get all of their games onto the Switch, and they've already been trying to do that. Final Fantasy has good reason to get as many of their Final Fantasy games onto whatever systems are currently available, and so on and so forth. And lots of other companies can do it. The problem is that not every company does do that. um, but another thing that I'm thinking about is that with all of that, as you uh, games are not the only things that do this. Basically, obviously, movies have had this issue in the past where they just many movies will just end up disappearing and no one will ever see. They might be able to find them, usually a pirated version, but uh, considering the fact that we're now in the days of streaming, it's a lot easier to find some movies, but it's not as easy to find others. But the biggest thing is that every single game, movie, show, whatever it will always have an audience that will come to it in some way, shape, or form. And making it available is going to make it so that a new audience will find it. And in the age of the internet, people are going to go and find it, and then they'll share how much they enjoy whatever this thing is, to eventually making it something that is one of the biggest. People love it more than anything else. Like, we in the past we've obviously talked about like Atlantis and
Thank God Disney put that on Disney Plus.
But my point about that is that people will say it's a cult classic, and honestly, I think at this point it should just be considered a classic. Pretty much everyone agrees that it's one of the greatest movies. Sure, there are some people who haven't seen it, but there are so many. But because of the fact that Disney made sure that it was available, and then when the internet age came along, people who had seen it were like, "This is one of the best movies ever, and we should talk about it," and so on and so forth. So there's always going to be an audience for whatever the respective thing is, and it may not be the specific audience that you're looking for at the time, but if you let it be available in the future, then at least people will enjoy it at a later time.
It hatched.
Congratulations on your egg.
Thank
but
you.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry. I'm going a little bit on a rant because I'm mostly pissed about Lunar, but other games have done it as well that are just like not available anymore, like Frel. I've looked at some games and I'm just like, how does this cost that much? Like it's not they're not even necessarily like the best games in the world. Sometimes they're just like they're pretty good games, and they end up just completely disappearing off the face of the earth.
I saw you come up beside me, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Oh hi, yeah, I'm here. I've randomly found you.
You did. You did.
But yeah. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So are there any like games, movies, shows that you feel have kind of died, like Lunar?
Yes. Yes. I mean, for shows, there's definitely shows. Like there was one called uh, Alphas. God, Alphas was so good.
What was that? What was that?
So it was about these people who had like superpowers, but they were very average in every other way. So like it they had superpowers, but they were special gifts. But in every other way, they were pretty much average. And so it really showed like how superheroes are just people too. And so they did a lot of saving the world, but they also like my favorite character's name was Gary, and he could see radio waves.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking it up. Was it the one in 2011?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it is on Roku, which obviously that's free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, interesting. But yeah, like the obviously things wane for sure over time. But yeah, I don't necessarily. But at least that is somewhat of that is available.
Yeah, but the thing that happened is they canceled it like season 2.
Yeah.
And it was left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, there's so many shows that end up going on to a cliffhanger. What was that show? Heroes, I think was what it was called. There's like this it's kind of similar to Alpha, but basically it starts out as it's kind of a murder mystery, because these people have superpowers, and several of them just keep dying. Their heads are cut open, and their brains are missing. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. We find out that there is this character who can gain every superpower. But the bigger thing is that apparently this other person also has this ability, but the way he gains their powers is by eating their brains.
Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. The guy does become a good guy in like the second season though, which is just like what the fuck. The second season was really bad. Let me just put it out there. But it was rather interesting. Like there was one of the main characters was called the cheerleader, and I shit you not, yes, that was actually the name that she chose for her superhero name. But she could not die. Basically, no matter how badly she was injured, she would not die. She kind of had something similar to what we see in the Deadpool movies, where if her brain is damaged in a certain way, basically if like something is stuck into the back of her head, then she will not revive. She won't be able to basically come back to life. The only way that she is able to do that is if whatever that thing is gets removed. So as soon as it's removed, then she's back to she'll regenerate, and it shows some really interesting moments where like she's been like completely cut open. They're doing like this they're trying to basically find out how did she die. They're doing an autopsy. I was trying to figure out what the word was, but yeah, autopsy. They were doing an autopsy on her, and then they remove the thing after they've done the autopsy, and then she comes back to life after like when the people are gone, and she just like casually puts her skin back over herself, and she's back to fighting shape.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, but it's an interesting show. I think it was on Netflix for a while, but I have no idea if it what the heck happened to it, because obviously like Heroes kind of like a very hard thing um uh to search. Like pretty much everyone there's like yeah, I don't know. There's all sorts of things like that. But I don't know if that one really counts as like completely disappearing off the face of the earth, but yeah. Um
There was another one that I forgot. Hang on.
I don't know. There's been a few different ones.
Touch. It was called Touch.
Touch? Never heard of that.
Yeah. It was about this little guy, this little autistic kid who knew all the secrets of the universe but didn't speak.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me see if I can look it up.
Yeah.
It's on Hulu.
Oh, cool.
Oh, dude. I didn't realize that. It wasn't before.
Well, things move around.
Oh my gosh.
Now you're gonna go and watch it, aren't you? At some point.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to think of exactly different things that are just like completely off of the face of the earth, because sometimes things will come back, and it's just like nobody is even thinking about it, and then suddenly it's back. Like I think that probably the best the most things that are probably going to disappear off the face of the earth are probably going to be like movie video games, because like who's gonna port a movie video game, like honestly.
Yeah, like I was looking through
Through what?
I was looking through the PSP games at my local game store, and I was actually kind of surprised that there was a game for GeForce.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of these weird games that you don't really think about. Like obviously, I personally would love to see Spyroid Chronicles get ported, because that was truly an amazing game, and with the new show coming out, it would be really fun to get to see that again. But yeah, it's probably never gonna be seen again.
Oh, the writer who wrote Heroes wrote Touch.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I did not know that. But yeah, what was I? So yeah, so yeah, I don't know. There's just like obviously, like I said, those games disappear. That's no big deal. Honestly, movie video games are basically just there to exist for the movie, and then they just fall off the face of the earth. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's most of them aren't that great in general. Like I can count the number of good movie video games on two fingers.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, I think that the only good movie video games that at least that pop into my mind right away are Spyro Chronicles and Larry Boy and the Bad Apple.
I literally Zephram Isaac Grahulski. You will not believe what I am holding in my hand at this exact minute.
What are you holding in your hand?
Larry Boy and the Bad Apple.
That's amazing. Which system? PS2 or?
No. Game Boy.
Game Boy. Oh, I didn't know that it came out on the Game Boy. It's probably way less than what the PS2 has, but like at this.
No, it's the Game Boy Advance.
Well, even still, like the Game Boy Advance was nowhere near as powerful as the PS2 at the time.
Oh no. Oh no.
So there, I'm pretty sure that there is a bit more in the PS2 version than the Game Boy version. I don't know exactly what the differences are, but the point still remains.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, like all those games, those two games, they're gonna fall off the face of the earth. We can mention them every now and again, but honestly, that's not the biggest deal because obviously, movie video games they fail. Like I don't know of anyone who looks back fondly on a movie video game and thinks, "Yeah, that was really freaking good. It's one of my favorite games of all time." Except for me with obviously Spyrowick and Larry Boy.
Okay. But can we talk about Lego adaptations? Because
those are fire. Those are absolutely one of some of the best games ever, and that is also sad because so many of those are probably never gonna see the light of day again.
My personal favorite is never going to see the light of day ever again, and I know it, but it's really sad because it's Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, that one was kind of a weird situation in general because like obviously it was a really well-made game, but I honestly don't know how many people were actually talking about it.
I don't know if anybody was talking about it. I just remember playing it with my dad, and it was super good.
Huh? Yeah. Like obviously it was on the PS3.
DS.
The huh?
It was on the DS. It was on the DS too.
Yeah. So let's see. So it was on the PS3. I had it for the Wii, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are a few others as well. Lego Indiana Jones 2 came to the PS3. I thought that was just DS. It's one of the worst games ever, Lego games ever, but
Indiana Jones
yes.
2. Indiana Jones the original is incredible.
Yeah, Lego Indiana Jones 2, the original, absolutely incredible. Great, one of the greatest games of all time. But yeah, apparently the second one also came to the PS3, which I thought it was just on the DS. But apparently not. It was on the PS3. Like obviously you if you want to get it, it's like a pain in the ass to get it now, but honestly, I'm fine with that disappearing off the face of the earth. That one was so bad. Like I don't even know. Also, can we talk about Lego City Undercover?
Yes.
Like obviously that game was really good, but it was really freaking weird because I think it was the 3DS version. That one had like that was basically a prequel to the main game, which was on the Wii U at first, and then that came over to the PS4 at a later date.
Interesting.
Which I do have the PS4 version somewhere here, but I just think that's really insane that that game just like, yep, it was there, and that's about as much as we can say for it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And then obviously there was Lego Force Awakens, which let's be honest, that was not the best game in the world. Obviously the later game Lego Star Wars the Skywalker Saga, one of the best games ever. But
Oh my god.
yeah.
Dad, I'm gonna get it for him for his birthday.
Huh?
My dad wants it so bad. I'm gonna get it for him for his birthday.
Fair enough. But yeah, Skywalker Saga, great game, fantastic game. I absolutely love that. But obviously, like all the other Star Wars games, we're probably never gonna see most of them ever again. I kind of imagine that they're possibly going to do something with the with Lego and all of the shows at some point. I don't know exactly what they're gonna do, but they might do something. Like maybe you'll be able to maybe they'll redo Clone Wars, or maybe they'll do Clone Wars Rebels and all of these other side shows or whatever. I don't know what exactly they're gonna do. But that would be kind of cool if they actually did something, but it's hard to say at this point in time. Oh, I was wrong. So, Lego Indiana Jones 2 and The Force Awakens were not the worst Lego games ever. You know what the actual worst Lego game in the world is?
What?
The Lego Ninjago movie video game. That is the worst Lego game in existence. Legitimately, I 100%ed it the day I bought it. I shit you not.
It's literally. This game is literally $30. My dad is nuts.
Which game?
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. But wait, that's only $30?
$34.99 on Prime.
Holy shit! The Skywalker Saga. Like the Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is only $30.
$34.99. Yeah.
Holy shit! It's still $60 on the PS5. I'm just
PS4 is $44.65.
yeah, it's still saying 60. Well, I'm looking specifically at the downloads on the PS5, so that's why I'm at. So yeah. Also the Lego Batman games. Did you ever play those? Specific.
Yeah.
What'd you think of those?
I don't really like Batman, so it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. So I can kind of understand that. Lego Batman the video game. I think that might have been one of the last Lego games where they did the mumbles. I could be wrong on that, but so yeah, Lego Batman the video game, that was one of the last mumble games. It might have been Lego Star Wars 3, but I don't know for sure. Basically, so that was one of the last ones. Lego Batman 2 basically made a completely new story that was specifically like DC superheroes and a teaming up between Superman and Batman. That was fine. It was whatever. Lego Batman 3 hardly had anything to do with Batman. He was just the main character. He was just slightly the main character, but it was mostly about like all of the different DC superheroes, and you could travel between all of these different worlds for DC. Like you could go to Oa and all of the just lots of different planets. Not super important where you could go, but you get my point. Lego DC supervillains, they just got rid of Batman being the main character and they made you the main character. But basically, that is the longest running Lego game, and it's I'm assuming that they'll probably continue to do more with it, because each story basically went from one to the next. Even though Batman legitimately does not speak at all in the first video game, in Lego Batman the video game, in Lego Batman 2, he starts talking and it continues the story from the first game. And it's just like, what the frell? It was kind of fun. But, yeah. And then obviously the Lego Marvel games. I think it's kind of funny that the Lego Marvel games as a whole on the consoles, they were always really freaking good. On the on the portable systems though, oh my gosh. Did you ever have you ever played Lego Marvel Superheroes on the DS?
Yes.
Do you agree that it was really shitty?
Yes. I gave my dad Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 for the Switch, and I gave him Lego Incredibles as well. Both of which he's obsessed with.
Fair enough. Like, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 is truly amazing. And Lego Marvel Avengers and Lego Marvel Superheroes on the on like the consoles and stuff, those are also pretty good.
You know what game I'm really upset about losing?
Which game?
Disney Infinity. Or not Disney Infinity, Disney Universe.
Oh, yeah, we played that a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah, it only ever came out on Wii, I think.
Okay, yeah. There's that's just so sad. Like, there's so many games like that that just disappear. And speaking of universes, Lego Universe. Did you ever play that?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, that made me so sad to see that go. And me and my dad have talked about it multiple times in the past, where we've basically said, like, they should have just made it be a free to play game. The game was, like, if they were going to do anything, it probably should have been a free to play game and then used a lot of the different techniques that other free to play games used. And Lego really was not prepared to do an MMO at the time. And honestly, I think that if Lego were ever to go back into the into a Lego MMO, whatever they're gonna do for that, it needs to absolutely be something that is like Lego Universe, but they need to understand that it needs to be. It should probably be aimed at older audiences for one, or it needs to be aimed at. If it's aimed at kids, it needs to be something that is free to play, because kids are not gonna. Very few parents are going to be doing an MMO for years and years just to make sure that their kid can play the game whenever they want to.
Yeah, no.
Well, an adult is more willing to pay for that. So either, like I said, they need to make a new. The next Lego MMO, whatever it is, it should be aimed at adults, or it should be aimed at kids, and they should make it free to play if it is aimed at kids, or it's something that you purchase once and then you never have to pay for it again.
I think that's how all games should be.
I mean, yes, they should absolutely be. You pay for it once and then you never have to pay for it again. But at the same time, understandably, these companies need to make money, especially if it's going to be a game that's going to be updating over years and years. A subscription-based system is actually a really well-done system, such as, obviously, with MMOs. But one thing that I think is really smart that certain MMOs do is that they have a free-to-play version where you can basically see if you actually like the game. For example, Final Fantasy 14, sorry. Final Fantasy 14 has a free-to-play up to level 60. And now you can get, I think, up to level 80? No. I think it's 90. It might be 90 at this point. I don't know off the top of my head. But the point is, you can get up to you can get up to level 60 in the free-to-play version. And that covers a good amount of the story, and you can understand if you like the game or not. There are certain features that are locked behind a paywall, and that's something that works really well, especially for a game like that is going to be updating over a long period of time. If it's not going to be updating, you might as well just make it a free-to-play game with maybe an online store that has like certain features or whatever. Or not features. I should say, like, outfits, mounts, stuff like that. And it's not something that you have to pay in order to get anything whatsoever. But if you want this specific thing, then you have to pay for it. Like I said, Final Fantasy 14 is probably the best example that I can think of off the top of my head, because I actually do pay for that. But, yeah, what was I talking about?
I don't remember. I'm tired.
Yeah. The point that we were trying to get across in this video was that games need to be available for people to play over and over again, no matter what it is. And unfortunately, that just doesn't happen anymore. Especially, like, a game that doesn't sell well enough, quote-unquote, just ends up dying. Which, obviously, for certain situations, yeah, that makes sense why it would die. If the company is not a very big company, it's gonna fall under, and so on and so forth. There's many other things like that, but You get my point.
Yeah.
But you want to know what is actually really impressive? The No Man's Sky. Have you ever? I don't know if I've talked to you guys about that yet.
I haven't played it, but I've heard of it.
So basically, No Man's Sky flopped when it first came out. Legitimately, there were so many issues with the game. There were glitches. There were bugs. There was it didn't have everything that people were promised. Still doesn't have everything that people were promised at the time, but they've been improving it little by little for a long time. And legitimately, the only purchase you ever have to make for this game is to buy the first version. If you have the game at all, you can play it one on your whatever system that you got it for. But two, if that system has VR, you can use the VR system if you have VR. So, like, if you got the PS3 or the PS4 version, it's completely free to just play the VR version of the game. So, and you don't have to play it with VR, but you can, whatever you want to do. There's lots of different really cool things about that, and I don't have the time to go over every single little thing about that. But that is what what companies should be doing, and they don't. But it's, yeah, I don't know. Lots of weird chaos happens. But anyways, have you been reading anything fun recently?
Actually, no.
No? You haven't been, like, reading, what manga are you currently reading?
Finishing up Witch Hat.
Fair enough.
Part 2.
Part 2, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying that?
I still hate Agate.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's near the end of that I started to like her. But it was like, it got much later that I started to actually like her. Because, yeah, so it's really impressive because there's a moment later on where in order to save Coco later on, she causes a distraction, and it's really cool. You'll see when you get to it, but I think at the end of Volume 2 was when I really started to like Agate. Like, she obviously she has some fucked up stuff going on in her life, but as the story continues, it continues to get better and better and better.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, she's not like other characters that's just like, yeah, you're gonna hate them for a long time. Agate is pretty quickly redeemed, in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, like, I think, like, when the anime finally comes around, it will probably be near the end of season 1 that she'll start to be redeemed. But yeah. And honestly, I understand if you end up just not liking her for a long time. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, I've got so that was really I really love Witch Hat. like I said, I've told you, I've read all the way through volume 10, and I cannot wait for volume 11, which I don't even remember when that's supposed to be coming out. I could probably check. Amazon. There it is. But yeah, so that was real. It's like I said, really fun game, or really fun book. So me and Joker have often talked about Reincarnated as a Sword. You haven't read that at all, right?
No.
Okay.
No. Not at all.
So do you want to know what it's about, or do you think you've got a pretty good grasp?
I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it. I think it's a really fun series, and I've talked a lot about it. Obviously, I tell this to everyone: read Hunter's Guild Red Hood. I love it, and I want to come back. Please, if the creator ever saw that sees any videos of mine talking about Hunter's Guild Red Hood, please know that I love the series more than anything. Sorry, I really love that show, and unfortunately, it's probably never gonna come back, or manga, I should say. But yeah, probably never gonna come back. But oh well, it happens. It's just a pain in the backside. But yeah. Didn't you say you were going to buy like a whole bunch of something recently?
A whole bunch of what?
Manga, a specific series.
No, I didn't get a chance.
Okay, I thought you were like I was thinking it was Witch Hat, but I wasn't 100% certain. But or was it Spy Family?
Oh, it might have been Spy Family.
So how far are you in that currently? Just out of curiosity.
I'm in 3.
Okay. So yeah, you need to get through 9. It's great. I think so. 3 is just before Bond shows up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So that's the first half of season 1 of Spy Family, and then season 2 is pretty much just the stuff with Bond, and then there's a little bit extra in there. But yeah, Bond is the best dog. You're gonna love him when you finally get to see him.
Yeah.
He's a good pupper. And he can see the future. I love that you're not responding to that.
Sorry, I'm focusing on something.
You're good. But yeah. Yeah, Bond can see the future. That's fantastic. I love Bond. And then obviously, frickin' Skandar is coming like right around the frickin' corner.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I can't wait. As is Vigilantes is coming to its close soon. Which now that I'm thinking about it, okay, so I've got a so I've told you guys that I'm gonna be doing a video about Hunter's Guild Red Hood to say goodbye. I'm also gonna be doing that for Vigilantes when the final volume comes out for that, which, like I said, kind of right around the corner. Not right around the corner, but close enough. But yeah, that's coming soon, and then yeah. What was it? So yeah. I don't know. I'm losing my mind a little bit at this point in time, especially with so many series coming to a close soon. And I think we should. I do kind of want to talk about certain series coming to a close very soon. So that might be our discussion for next time. We'll talk about. We could talk about how many series are coming to a close very, very soon, as in like Dr. Stone, My Hero Academia. All of the spin-offs from My Hero Academia are pretty much done. And then so on and so forth. Many series are coming to a close. Demon Slayer, that ended. Promised Neverland ended. And honestly, I'm expecting like a whole bunch of other series to end very, very soon. And I'm not too happy about that. But one other thing... I don't know if you saw when Joker mentioned it, but Pandora 7 has a release date.
Thank God.
August 22nd. Honestly, I'm not that surprised, but at the same time, like, holy crap, that's going to be so long of a wait.
I'm not reading it until then.
Fair enough. But yeah. Who's ready for that to come out? Oh my gosh. But yeah. You should read more of your series because you got a lot, I think, at this point that you haven't read yet, right?
Correct.
So, you got to read more and then tell us what you think of them because Yeah, we're like, obviously me and Joker, we've been reading manga for a bit now, so we kind of know what we think of different manga and stuff. But you haven't told us much about like all of the different series that you're reading and how much you've enjoyed them. So yeah, that'll probably be what we'll talk about in the next nerd chat. But we are getting pretty close to 50, so look forward to that. Don't know exactly what we're doing there, except for possibly history. But anyways, guys, we'll see you guys next time. But on.
Love you. Bye. Love you. Bye.